All right. What's good? What's good? What's good? Happy New Year. Happy 2024. Welcome to the first episode of the Men Like Us podcast of 2024. What's been going on? Y'all know what it is. As always, y'all got to give me a little bit to share the stream out. Let me just share it out there in a few places real quick. Get it out there so folks can see that we are live. We have a dope conversation for y'all today. It's a conversation with myself and a really awesome dude from the men's group. I came across this guy maybe a couple years ago, and once I created my own space, I definitely sought him out to come in and add to the group and share his wisdom and experience with the group as well. So it's definitely gonna be live. But as always, give me a second. Give me a second. So yeah, that. Oh wait, I haven't seen y'all since before Christmas. So yeah, wow, the holidays were great. Still chilling out here in Houston, doing my thing. But yeah, had a great holiday, had a great Christmas with the family. That went much better than Thanksgiving. Was a lot less triggering. So there is no podcast episode to do about Christmas, the Christmas trip. The home for the holidays, mostly centered around some frustrations around Thanksgiving. But the Christmas trip was dope. It was a beautiful family moment. Got to hang out with quite a few people there. In fact, let me see if I can grab one of those photos. I don't know why I didn't think to bring a photo of these people. Either way, when I travel to cities, I like to hang out with people. I like to connect with other men, other couples, just hang out with people because I don't want this whole thing to be just some internet hangout thing. I want it to really kind of translate into real life, and I want the connections to be real. So we had a great time getting margaritas with some friends, with a few couples in Atlanta. And then I actually invited some people to come over and hang out with my family. So, had a couple friends from the community come and have game night with my cousins, my aunties, my uncles, even my mom. And it was a good time. It was definitely a good time. So it was dope. It was a great experience. I hope to have a holiday season that magical again. But yeah. Oh, hey, what's up, Kehlani? Oh no. Oh well. I'm glad you feel better now. Oh wait, let me change that. That don't look right. That don't look right. Oh no, that don't look right. Here we go. Back to that. Yeesh. Well, that's a horrible way to spend the holidays. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better now. Hopefully, feeling better now. A few weeks later. Um, Actually, my girlfriend and I went to Mexico last year. I think last holiday season, and I think she ended up catching something from down there. So it wasn't that great. The New Year's was not rocking as it should have been. What up, Ryan Roy? What's going on? What's going on? All right, we got people watching. So, hey, without further ado, I'll just jump straight into the conversation. It's a 2-part video. We're going to roll it. We did a recorded conversation. But the conversation stems from I just asked the group. I have a men's group on Facebook. It's called the Like Us Tribe. If you are a man, you're looking, by all means, join it. It is a men's only group, so ladies, you cannot be a part of it. But I just asked the guys, like, hey, what aspects of trans attraction would you like to like? Which aspects of trans attraction do you think should be talked about more in 2024? And we got some really interesting questions or answers, not questions. We got some really interesting answers and perspectives. So, really, I'm gonna just go straight into the conversation, and I'll be here in the comments with y'all. Sorry we couldn't do this one live, but my man's sometimes the schedules don't match up. So it is what it is. So without further ado, I'm gonna just play it. All right, I'm on with my main man Glass to talk to y'all a little bit about what the fellas are really interested in so far this year in terms of what they want to hear and all that kind of stuff. I put out a question in our men's only group that asks, what aspects of being trans attracted do you wish were talked about more? So that's why I have my man Glass come on with me so we can rap about a few of the points. But before we jump into that, Glass, tell me a little bit about yourself.
All right. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me on. Really appreciate you having me on so we can share these
Mm-hmm.
views. My name is Glass. I'm coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a
All
fitness
right.
trainer. I'm a bodybuilder. And I've been engaged to my fiance. We've been together for 5 years.
Okay. That's what's up. How long y'all been engaged?
We've been engaged for 2 years. Been
Okay.
together for
All
5.
right. All right. That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Get married next year, bro.
Wow. Wow. Good luck to you, sir. I I can't imagine the stress and all the craziness that goes along with that, man.
Oh, stress on that wallet.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, the marriage, the wedding industry will get you. They
Yeah,
will
man.
get you all the way together, man. My sister does makeup, and obviously one of her big things is doing weddings and just taxes. My boy, he's a wedding DJ. Shit, he provides for him and his family through just weddings. He don't really do like any during the week. He don't do nothing. He just hang out and play PlayStation all week. That's how much they be charging. You work like 1-2 days a week,
Boy,
and you good.
you will not catch him on the weekend. He said, I am unavailable for anything. Don't call me.
Oh yeah, I know. I know, man. Well, shoot, congratulations to your brother, and
Thank
good luck on that next year, and hopefully, we'll have you back before and after the wedding date. Give us a little update on how that experience was.
Most definitely, man. No problem on that. I will. I will be back.
For sure. So the topic is hold on, put this up. What aspects of being trans attracted do you wish were talked about more through the 3.5 years ish I've been doing this specific podcast? We talked about a whole lot of stuff. And there's always something new to talk about. There's always a hunger to hear different sides of things and also just to hear different topics, new topics, or really to hear people talk about some things that are a little taboo. Like, look, you listen to the show, I don't care about getting canceled. People can hate on me all day. We gonna talk that real shit. So I'm not worried about somebody in their platform canceling me and whatever. Been there, done that. Trust. Uh, but either way, we're gonna jump into it with this little segment here. We're gonna hit a couple of the points made quickly, but you will see throughout the year some shows completely based around some of the ideas that were suggested in this post. And actually, I put the post. I moderate 3 different groups. So I got one just men's only, and then the other 2 are kind of co-ed. And the responses were definitely wildly different in both. Both groups. But we're going to start with one that you suggested. And actually, let me before we do that, fix this one thing on this. Mm-mm. All right. So yeah, we'll start on yours, and thank you for being willing to own it.
Got you, man. You gotta own up to hey, you gotta own up to what you create, man. Own up to it. Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yours was, you are not a chaser just because you only date trans women.
Facts, man. I'm gonna be honest with you on that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Any, in my opinion, the girls who think like that are immature to me in certain aspects, because at the end of the day, if you're just mingling and dating trans women, you're not in a relationship. You're just getting to know people, hanging out with trans girls. You're not a chaser because of that. I've never found that being anything of being a trans chaser if you're doing that. I've
Mm-hmm.
heard that several times when girls would say that about a guy. I've heard that about myself before I got my relationship when I was single and mingling. They would be like, "Oh,
Hmm.
he's a chaser." I'd be like, "No, that's not really the key. That's not it."
No, it isn't. And in fact, the way so okay, chasers, as people know them, like I understand, where the term comes from and the his, not all the history behind it, but I understand like there was a need for the creation of this word to categorize certain men who were engaging in certain practices. But fast forward to 2024, it is in my opinion, it's in my experience, it is largely a derogatory term used to shame and judge men based on their sexuality and nothing else. All they know,
Totally
oh,
agree.
you like trans women? Well, you're a chaser. Well, how do I
Totally
not be a
agree.
chaser? Well, there is no way for you not to be a chaser because you're a man and you like trans women and you only want to be with trans women, so you are a chaser. And it's like,
Uh,
the fuck? Okay. And now, mind you, I'm gonna just be real because I don't give a fuck about getting canceled. Like a lot of these individuals that are saying this, like you said, they're immature. They're young. Their views on relationships, their views on the opposite gender are very two dimensional. A lot of times mired in trauma as well. Um, and I'll even go a step further and just say some, not all, but some are coming from a perspective of being sex work. It's like, okay, well, all these men are chasers, and these men, they all do this and they do that, and it's like, okay, are you talking about men who are actively trying to date you, or are you talking about your previous Johns and tricks, or are you talking
exactly.
about your friends Johns and tricks? Are
Or
any of these
let's
guys looking to put a finger? Or I'm sorry, not finger. Well, looking to put a ring on anybody's finger in this situation?
Yeah, you hit a good point. And let's dive a little deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Or because you're so used to dealing with a guy who's been in those situations of dogging you, have you gotten so insecure to the point where you just look at every man that comes
Mm-hmm.
at you, you think he's automatically going to another chick?
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't look at it like that. And when you go back
Absolutely.
to piggyback off what you said about the aspects of them as sex workers and saying that, that's a different situation because at the end of the day they're looking at you like a fetish. They don't know what's behind all that. They don't know what's
Mm-hmm.
going on. They don't know the person beyond the advertisement they're calling. They don't know that.
Yeah.
They don't
But
know the real you.
in all fairness, they're not interested in it, and because they're here for a product. You're selling
Exactly.
yourself. They're showing up to purchase time with your body. That's it. You are nothing more than that. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to be awful and dehumanize, like be dehumanizing at all turns. But at the end of the day, the level of expectation for this particular group of men should be that they only care about that. But that
Yeah.
isn't for all the guys, and it's like a one size fits all. And speaking of, you mentioned before you were in a relationship, before you were with your fiance, we got guys in the men's group that have been married. One of the guys in the group, he just got out of a 4-year marriage,
Oh
and
man.
he's out in the dating apps. He's like, okay, I'm gonna get myself back out there and let's see who's out, let's see who's available. And he's just getting called a chaser right off top, and he's like, a chaser? What are you talking about?
It could be
Wild.
also, it could be also like
Mm-hmm.
to help him out. How are you presenting yourself? How
True.
are you going about getting
True that.
getting to know somebody or getting to hang out with somebody? How are you presenting yourself? Don't come out as
Mm-hmm.
always, I'm chasing ass. A lot of guys, they come off as
Clap
chasing
cheeks.
ass. You say clap cheeks. A lot of guys come off with the intention of just getting ass
Mm-hmm.
and trying to sleep with them, but not really getting to know the person. So yeah, I'm gonna look
Yeah. Yeah.
if I was a trans woman, I'm gonna look at you like a John or a chaser too. If you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
just come in and just going with clap cheeks, if that's not my intentions and that's not what I'm telling you that I want.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Now
have to
here's
you
the
have to
thing,
just
though.
uh
You got to think about the girls who actually. Okay, this is time for real truth right now.
got you.
There's enough people in the community who do want that.
Shit, and they gonna tell you off
They
rip
want
about that.
the transactional sex, the short term. It's what, like, I'm just saying there are people who do want that, but for the
Yeah,
girls who
yeah,
don't, like, I totally feel you. Like, you should be coming in a different way. And that particular guy, he's definitely he ain't like that. But what I will
yeah.
say is there's plenty of guys that are, and also
Yeah.
for the girls that are listening that have never heard men talk about this kind of stuff before, like, y'all need to understand, men don't invent new ways of pursuing women just because they started chasing trans women. Like, however they are with you, they've been doing this with all the cis women they was talking to 10 years before they even met you. So whether
Facts.
you, if you get dogged out, lied to, whatever, it's not just you. He was already doing that out there with cis women before he met you. He did his baby mama that way. All that shit. If he comes to you respectful and he's like, that's just the guy, that's how he's been programmed to interact with women, period. It's like,
Facts.
men don't switch up. Oh, well, that's a cis woman, so I'm gonna treat her with respect. Oh no, that's a trans woman. I'm gonna
No,
switch it up this way. We don't switch it up. We are who we are.
most definitely right. And it doesn't matter the gender, doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter who you are. This is just what we're doing. This is our game plan. This is what goes on in our mind. It's what we go for.
Absolutely. Now, for your your statement, about not being a chaser if you only date trans women, one modifier that I've seen get used to make somebody a chaser or make somebody a lesser version of a man is if the guy only wants pre-op trans women. So the guy says, "Look, I'm only interested in dating pre-op trans women. I'm not interested in dating post-op trans women." I've had I've thrown that out there into the ether, and I've had a lot of girls say, "Well, you ain't really straight then, and you gay, and you're this, and I don't really want a man like that because I want a man who really wants this." It's just all this stuff coming back, and it's just like, yo, he's not a chaser. He's not a problem if that's all he dates as well.
And where's this source coming from saying that he's gay if he goes that way? If he rocks with a pre-op
Mm-hmm.
or post-op trans woman, what makes the state what makes you feel comfortable enough to tell that man he's gay because he rocks with that?
Um, I don't know where that comes from. But what I can say is a majority is only just above 50%. Anything over that, a majority of the girls that have done this, and you can go on Clubhouse and listen to the conversations. A lot of those girls plan on getting the surgery later on, and like essentially they're offended at the fact that they're not in line with somebody's dating preference, because they went post op. And also, and here's the crazy part: they get offended. These girls were offended by it, and it was a guy they were not interested in the least.
Mm.
Like, it's weird.
They,
Like, if there was a white girl who was just god awful ugly, and she was like, you know what, I don't date black men. I'm like, hallelujah, thank you, see ya. Like, I don't have any words of insult for you or anything because I'm not interested in you. Like, my feelings aren't hurt. You don't want to date fat guys? Fine, cool. Like, if I'm not attracted to you, I don't care. But I've seen it play out where it was just like there was some deep hurt or something that it
yeah,
just disturbed their soul for it to be an issue. And it's just like, and what I guess with this whole chaser thing, as we're coming around the bend to it, is a lot of these girls do feel entitled to tell men who they are and what they are, how they should be. And it's like they
mm,
feel like they have control. Like, no, you're this, and you don't understand this, and you're that, and you need to be acting like this. Like, okay, who the fuck are you? Why do you feel like you can dictate who people are, how they identify, how they should move, and all this other stuff? Like, they're used to telling these guys because they're used to telling their Johns and all the other guys who really just don't know anything.
yeah. And I'm just gonna be real with you. You can't tell a man how to be a man, and you can't tell him what to be attracted to, and you can't tell him how to live his life.
Hmm.
As men, we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and we're gonna like and talk to who we're gonna want to talk to. So at the end of
True.
the day, If that man is used to that, if he's used to that preference, let him go. You'll find somebody better than him and that wants you for you. You don't have to change yourself just to go ahead to attract the men that you want or the men like that. Because there are
Mm-hmm.
so many men out here that need love, and there are so many men out there that are willing to talk to you, willing to engage in those conversations and get into a possible relationship and mingle with you and and treat you the way you need to be treated.
Yep, he's out
So
there.
yeah, man. Don't
All
try
them
to
ten
change somebody
percent.
else. Don't try to change somebody else because he fits your, your criteria. Because at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, he's going to end up hurting you in the long run, and you're
Yep.
going to end up like we just said, upset, insecure, and you just stuck in that same mindset. And you'll fuck up for the next person that comes and tries to court you.
Especially if you don't get some therapy in between time. If you don't just try to work on yourself in between that in that
Boy,
space, that's the recovery time.
boy, I'm gonna tell you something.
Uh,
I'm gonna tell you like this. My woman that I'm with now is
mhm.
it's funny because she's my rock. So she will get on my ass before we got together. She hit me with that. She was like, I'm gonna just say you like this now. We're in these situations where we're together, we're mingling, we're going, you're taking me out to dates. I'm having a great time with you, but you need to cope with the situations before you met me in order for us to work. And we're still working things out when it comes to that. I'm not saying everything is fully healed when it came to my past before her, but at the end of the day,
Mhm.
we're in a way better space. Because when we first started, it was a whole situation, man, where we're getting to know each other. And when you get to know somebody, you really gotta, you gotta get to that point where you have to really express to this person what you want. And I knew off rip when I met her, it was just a very beautiful situation. And I was like, all right, cool. I want
Mhm.
this to work. So I gotta work. So yeah.
Absolutely. Kind of going a little bit off topic here.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go
In,
ahead about the
in
chick.
the relationship realm, I listened to this podcast. I need to get back on it a lot more. It's called "The Voice of Reason" by Zoe Williams, and he did an
Gotcha.
episode, and the episode was centered around asking this question: who did you bring into this relationship with us? Who did you bring? Who did you bring into this relationship with us? Did you bring your ex that did you wrong and embarrassed you?
Woo.
Did you bring in your mama who, I don't know, did something messed up to you? Did you bring in all the people that told you were ugly and you was never going to pass? Did you bring in, your community that made you feel ugly because you didn't have your surgeries enough? Or, or did you bring in the Johns, or did you bring in your trade? Did you, who's in this with us? Who did you bring in with us? Because that dictates a lot of times what triggers you. And before you know it, you're looking at your partner like, I recognize this and I'm going off on you as if you were X, Y, and Z that I brought into this with us without giving them the benefit of the doubt that they're coming from a space of love and they're not really trying to hurt you in the way that your mom hurt you or your ex hurt you or whoever else. It's a very interesting conversation, but it all leads to just being a lot more self-aware, aware of like
Gotcha.
what's
Gotcha.
going on with you. And then also, communicating your triggers to your partner. So they know how to, okay, well, look, I know my girl, she a little bit sensitive about this thing. So we're gonna work the conversation around this way. Or, when the family come around, I know she's gonna get a little anxious and this, and this. Like just learning, who you with you learn that a lot more when you do the work on yourself, when y'all do the work on yourselves, and then you
Hmm.
communicate a lot of that to each other. So it's
Got you,
just
man.
I don't know. It's just one of those things. He go check it out. Voice the Reason by Zoe Williams. He it's a relationship podcast for grown-ups. Not this
not
little who pays on the first date bullshit. No. No, no, no.
not the 50-50
Yeah,
bullshit.
not the 50-50. The man should be the provider. And no, this is real stuff.
Yo,
Real stuff.
I'm gonna tell you, 2024, I left the man bashing women, women bashing men
Hmm.
syndrome shit in 2023. I was so tired of seeing that every time you log in, that's all
Oh
you
yeah.
hear. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
I feel you. I unfollowed all those little crappy little podcasts. Facebook. whatever, all those platforms out because they put nothing good into the ether. Whether it's a black or white platform, they don't put anything new into nothing's original first off, and then none of it is good.
And
So everything is stolen.
since we're speaking on that subject, let's be
Hmm.
honest. Back to what you were saying. I'm reverting back around to our subject.
Hmm.
That could be when it comes to a girl, that can be her friend in her head or some shit she saw where she think that's supposed to be her lifestyle or she think that's supposed to be what the ideal man is supposed to be for her.
Mm,
And that's not ideally what you need to be worrying about. Somebody else's situation is never going to be your situation. You can relate
absolutely.
to certain things, but not everything.
Yeah. Yes,
People watch too much
absolutely.
what's on the internet. Yeah, man. And
Oh my
people
God, no.
watch too much what's on the internet. They let that feed them to get to a whole certain point where, like, okay, I saw this on this, so now I'm finna base my relationship or base my connection with this man off
Hmm.
that. And he should be like this, he should be like that. And no, you're gonna end up you're gonna end up losing that man. He's gonna end up
Hmm.
going somewhere else because he's not gonna be willing to keep going into these situations with you. That's not gonna work.
Absolutely. And this is a saying from your world, Mr. Personal Trainer. I know you heard this before. Junk in, junk out. What are you eating?
Facts. You are
That's
what you
just,
eat.
yep, that's all. You're taking in nothing but toxicity and drama and bullshit. That's all you're putting back out in the world. That's all that your mindset is on that junk. It's just trash all day.
Facts. And
So,
you are what you attract. So if
and
you're
yeah.
attracting that type of situation,
Oof.
if you're attracting that type of situation from that man,
Hmm.
guess what? That's what you are.
Yep.
Yeah,
People
man.
really, I'm know people that really just don't want to admit that. And I'm looking at it like, yeah. But that's also why in the past I've held a lot of the trans content creators accountable in terms of and we'll just take this thing down. Let's move on. But really it's what are you putting out there? What are you putting out there that's making the world a more positive place? How are you helping people? So
Facts.
if it's all trauma bonding and men are trash and men hurt women and this is it's all this negative stuff, how are you helping the young? Like, what are you giving to the young minds, the young people that are listening to your platform? You're not giving them anything good. There's no inspiration. There's no, hey, you know what? You could be more than just this. We could get out and do this. Whatever it is, it's just I feel like a lot of times in this space, it's a lot of negativity and I would say neutral content, but it's just not. I'm looking at like, people, this isn't good. And in fact, I've heard these young guys, and I really feel for the young men in their 20s. I really do feel for them. I'm so glad I'm not in my 20s because it's a shit show out there. But these guys, they're coming back to me talking about, yo, this girl was quoting Hope Giselle and saying, how can I really be an ally if I'm not out there marching in the streets and willing to die? And like, yo, that ain't what? Why are you bringing this into your? You trying to you trying to start something with this man? Y'all getting to know each other, and this is what you bring in that crap. You questioning his allyship because he doesn't want to go and march in the street, as if that's everybody's calling.
And that might not be his calling.
No, no, it
Yeah,
isn't.
not at all.
It's just like with this space. Everybody ain't, it's not for everybody to be wearing the t-shirts. I'm trans attracted, or I'm on this podcast, or I'm doing. That's not for everybody. And they're not bad people if they don't want to get out there and be loud and proud. People, some folks just want to live their lives.
Facts. And not be included in the propaganda.
I
Nobody
mean,
wants to
yeah.
be, nobody want, and I'm not saying this is not to bash anything. Yes,
Hmm.
if that's you, great. Be proud of it. And I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. Me and how I feel about it, I'm gonna live my life and live to be the best Glass I can be. And I don't give a fuck about whoever's opinion or whoever's feelings I hurt. At the end of the day, if you ask me a question, I'm gonna express to you how I feel about that.
Hmm.
But I'm not gonna go out and shout it out to the streets. I'm very much chill, you know.
Yeah.
You don't not and that's just me, but that
Hmm.
may not be for everybody. So what I
Oh
say,
yeah.
whatever you feel, wherever you go for, I say go for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. All right, so let's move on to the second one here.
Okay,
What we
okay.
got here? Okay, what aspects of being trans attracted do you wish were talked about more? The hostility and demeaning of men who are openly attracted to trans women. Why do some trans women want to demean us, knowing, demean us, knowing we're open to date you guys, but not willing to give us a chance? So that's a whole lot of things in there. But why
Shit.
don't we just take that first sentence and he wants to, and we'll just move on to the next one. But the hostility and demeaning of men who are openly attracted to trans women.
That goes back to the subject we were just talking about. That comes to from a place of hurt. So
Mm-hmm.
certain situations, you could have been in a situation where the guy who was openly trans attracted like that was around pulling chaser vibes, making you look embarrassed, making you feel embarrassed in your community by talking to your friends, talking to somebody you knew, and it makes you feel insecure because okay, all these girls know this man is trans attracted, and he might be a little green and might go for it and go for every girl
Mm-hmm.
because he's like, oh, they want me. So
Mm-hmm.
that could be coming from a place of hurt. And also depends on the person, like you said, place of hurt and depends on the person.
Yeah, I do think it's. I'm sorry, I'm just going to be that guy. I've already been labeled as problematic and canceled, anyways. But this whole I've largely seen it from the sex work girls that were like the girls who were in sex work or formerly of it, who have been very hostile towards men who are stepping up, speaking out, and just saying, hey, this is me. I'm going to live in my truth. I've chosen to not hide. I am intending to be an honorable man as I move through this space. And it's just been met with nothing but vitriol and toxicity. But a lot of that comes from, hey, like you said, these girls have been hurt. So if the number one culprit of the hurt in your life is all the men that have paid you for sex throughout your life, your trade, all that other junk, like they're just not. Essentially, a lot of these girls are not in a place where they can receive you peacefully as a man into their community because the very presence of men in a lot of cases triggers them. Your very
Hmm.
presence triggers them. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to be a chaser or anything. You can just show up to a community event and somebody can come at you sideways. Yo, who are you? What are you doing here? Who the fuck? Whose trade is this? Like they can just go up because it's like it's just dealing with somebody who's hurt. They don't know how to they can't handle being around a man in a certain way, and also a lot of times these girls don't have any healthy relationships with a cis man in their lives. I'm sorry,
Or
cis hetero man.
or
BQs.
some of or some of them are so used to not spilling who they truly are and used to
Mhm.
just dating or being with guys who don't truly know who they are or know that they're trans, and they
Yeah,
get so used to that where they're like, oh, nobody knows this guy because he doesn't know I'm trans and he's in the community where it's not the same community as me, so I'm like the special girl because he doesn't know, and then all that type of shit, you know what I'm saying? They
and
could be they could
then
be there with that. That's another insecurity. That's
and then
true.
they find out that he actually knew the whole time because hubris in impassibility it's big. It's big. Nobody's when girls rope say that's right and I'm passable and I'm this and this. Nobody is going to tell that person. Nobody's going to tell that girl, actually, girl, nah, no, you don't. Like anybody telling her that, I'm not going to tell her that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But some, yeah. I'm just saying it's an ability that is boasted quite often, but achieved. It's not achieved as much as someone like to believe. That's all I'm saying. But
Facts. Facts.
it's this whole hostility and to the people listening, we're saying this. The things that we're saying really come from our experience and the people that we know and knowledge and all that other kind of stuff. But this is really just to kind of give other men who are asking about this stuff who have never heard conversation on this just a little bit of insight on what they can expect or why people are coming to them sideways and they're like, well, what did I do? What What do you mean I'm a chaser? What do you mean? Why are you mad at me right now? Why are you hostile towards me? I just said I'm going to be an ally and I'm going to be open. And it's, when guys are fresh in this, they don't know where any of this stuff is coming from because they don't know any of the girls. They have no experience at all with the community overall. So,
Right.
the things that we're saying, while some may feel like, well, it's harsh and you too much this, and this, really, I promise you, this is the kind of stuff guys who are freshmen they really need to hear because it's the kind of stuff they need to consider if they want to have positive interactions with members of the community and to, start growing a network and creating connections, positive connections.
And being real, if we had to say this, I wish I knew this information before I got into my first relationship with a trans woman. I'm gonna be honest. This
Oh, yeah.
being completely true, I came in there with my eyes wide open, didn't know shit. But coming from 21 all the way to 32 now, I can honestly say that was for the best because you had to go through those situations to get to know yourself. Because at the end of the day, as you're, like you said, the guys in the 20s, as you're moving, your 20s are your learning years. And as you learn
Mm-hmm.
to, once you go into 30, you kind of know where your lane is at, where to stick to, and what not to do, what to do. Don't, and another thing for fellas, guys, don't go out there and sacrifice yourself and make yourself look crazy going on these situations with these trans women and making yourself look like a chaser, doing things that you'd be like, all right, that's not cool. You gotta watch yourself as well, because then you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be in that category of being a chaser.
Mm-hmm.
Don't lose yourself. Have some self-respect, because they will talk about you. And you're gonna be on that list of you gonna be on that list.
Yeah,
And you're gonna be like, yeah, you think you having a good time, but at the end of the day, you're making yourself less valuable. You're
that's
making your
true.
yes, you're making yourself less valuable, and you're really stunting your growth as a man at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day. Because the real nitty gritty is you're trying to, at the end of the day, you're trying to experience connections that could possibly lead to relationship or lead to marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go out here fucking every trans girl or fucking every girl that you fucking and disrespecting every girl that you're with, because it's gonna come back and it's gonna be bad for you. Don't do that.
Absolutely. And the key word that you said there was disrespect.
Yes.
Um, because I've been a long time advocate. I've been a long advocate of the liberation of the male sexuality,
Hmm.
and what I mean by that is, I fully support men who are not relationship minded,
Hmm.
navigating this community and learn, just living life and understanding what you want, what you don't want, what you like, what you don't like, and a lot of times that is trial and error.
Hmm.
Okay, I was with this one girl and I didn't like this. Now I know I like this instead of this. All right, now I was with this other, you're always learning stuff as you go. But even if you're not like, I'm looking to marry somebody, X, Y, and Z, if you, as you navigate this community, please, please, please do it with respect. If you do things in an honorable manner, it really, like, at the end of the day, ain't nobody really got nothing to say. Because even if they do have something to say, you got receipts. You never lied. You never did anything underhanded to these girls. You never let anybody on. If you're very clear and transparent from the jump, and conduct yourself with honor in a sense, or integrity, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But I will say, um, I've been opened up to a new world that
Yeah.
I never experienced before, because I have to be honest, I never. I'm just be real. So the levels of poverty that you'll find in some of the lives of some of these women, it's nothing I've ever experienced. And you know what? Yeah, I'm from the hood, X, Y, and Z. But what I mean by that is, like, some of these girls is really straight up on like hustler mentality, and it's that real street game. Some of these girls grew up in the streets. They was on the streets selling themselves, before they could even drink legally.
Hmm.
And it's a whole game. And it's just like, I could say I was ignorant of the game, and I got game pretty good. I got
Shit.
gamed really good, and by a girl, a New York girl. She was on the streets for a good shit 15 years, and she knew how to what do you call it? She knew how to what do you call it? It's not, I don't want to say manipulate, but she knew how to move people around and handle men essentially.
Mm.
So she handled the fuck out of me. And when I say handle, like I'm telling you, fake name, lied about where her money was coming from, lied about the job she had. Like it was a lot.
Mm.
It was a lot of untruths that I didn't learn about until after the thing was all said and done. But this was a pro. She was a pro.
Shit, man.
She was one of them girls, but they're all over. And it's like, yo, keep your head about you. And I get that you finally found the one and you want to be nose wide open. You want your fantasy. Like the girls, they want their fantasy. And the men, they want their fantasy too. Oh, I found my forever love and this, and this. And, oh, I finally found somebody who's just okay, cool. But do your due diligence, keep an eye out. I'm not saying everybody's into some shit, but just don't lose yourself to the point where you're not watching what's happening around you or watching how she moves.
Facts.
So
Keep yourself cognitive to what's going on around you. And on
yeah.
top of that shit, I'm sorry you went through that experience. You was just with the wrong girl.
Oh
I've
yeah.
never, I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been gamed, thank God. And I can say the girls that I've been around and the girls that I've talked to gave you a lot. If you're not around a woman that's better than you, guess what? She's
Mm-hmm.
gonna make you worse. I was never around. It just puts you on game. You got to be
Oh,
around the
bro.
right type of girl to be with. You got to
This
be around
girl
the right type of
said
girl.
this girl came out saying, I got a master's in this and I'm
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that. And none of that. She was like, she showed up a certain way, She knew exactly what to say, how to be. And then, yeah, you pull one thread, and you start pulling, you keep pulling. It's just like, fuck is all this? But you know what? I feel you on that. Um, but a lot of, and that's another side of it. Look, especially just talk about black people specifically, we broke as fuck as people. There's a lot of poverty going on socioeconomically. We're a lot of us are not in the best place, and so a lot of these relationships happen under specific circumstances. And really, I'm not even gonna lie, a lot of my frustrations early on with black trans women specifically, um, it took me a while to realize that, a lot of these issues are socioeconomic. And I was really dealing with some hood girls with a hood mentality, and that ain't never been my get down. So I'm like,
Yeah,
why are
yeah.
these girls exposed? Why do they care about this? Why? And my friend, I'll just shout her out anyways. Actually, I'm not gonna shout her out because I want her to get in trouble. Well, my friend, I got friends. She helped me see that. She was like, well, you talking about this, and this. A lot of this stuff is socioeconomic because a lot of girls ain't got a family at home they can go back to. They struggling, they're barely making rent, they're sleeping on somebody's couch. Like it's all these different things that are happening while there are all these done up goddesses and all these other things. Like they got all the looks and all that junk. But what's really happening, behind the veneer, yeah. Could
And
be
a lot
something
of
completely
time,
different.
shit, man. And to piggyback what you're saying, a lot of times people are not willing to face that reality of what it takes to get those situations popping for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to go out certain situations and move a certain way to get
Yeah.
that type of girl. Oh, and on top of that, getting that type of girl or getting that type of man, while we're saying you're gonna have to willing to work on yourself
Yes.
and and be willing to learn, not
Mm-hmm.
be willing to learn and not disrespect the people that are putting you on game.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could sit there and be with a girl and she putting you on game and your ass thinking, oh shit, whatever, she don't know what she's talking about. And it end up blowing up in your fucking face. And then
Yeah.
you later on coming back like, damn, you was right.
Hmm.
Telling you from self-experience.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I'm pretty boy. Oh, I really fuck that. I don't have to listen to that shit. And when shit blew up in my face, I go back, be like, damn, you was right. But thank God
Hmm.
the girl who I was like my girl. Thank God when she puts me on game, when the shit does blow up in my face or when a situation happens, she like, see, I told you, come on, let's go. Keep putting you on game. We here. Don't run into somebody that's gonna, leave you stranded after the situation. Cause
Oh
but
yeah.
either way, you fucked yourself in the way. You fucked yourself. But at the end of the day, find somebody that's gonna let you get those life experiences and still be there to pat you on the back, give you a hug, and be like, "See, I told you, stupid ass, but come on, I got you."
Yeah. It's definitely how
Yeah,
you handle those situations. But
facts, man,
something you mentioned earlier was don't lose yourself in this.
facts.
And I think something that uh, a lot of guys that I see guys do, and something that I've done myself, you're coming in super fucking, you're coming in with your cape on. You're like, I'm super ally man. I'm super advocate man. And the women in this community, they're all precious and they should all be protected in this, and this. But you're not protecting yourself. And
At
now
all.
you, and this is really how it happened with me. I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm seeing these things, but maybe I'm not giving enough grace. Maybe I'm not being empathetic enough. Maybe I'm not understanding enough. Maybe I'm not being a good enough advocate or ally. I need to be a better ally and really understand this junk a lot more. When it was all bullshit, I was excusing the BS all day, trying to be a good ally and be the best. But it was just like one of those things like, yo, I wasn't protected. Like they say at the beginning of every boxing match, protect yourself at all times. Not protecting myself. I put myself last because I was
I
trying to
think
be
that
a good influence on the community, be a good person, and this, and this, and all these lofty
shit.
ideals. And it just turned into, but, I'm putting this out there so that other men can either recognize this in themselves or be on guard and not forget to put themselves or not to I'm sorry, not forget to prioritize themselves.
Facts, bro. I I had the pleasure of talking to a guy who put me on game. I was
Hmm.
in a deep situation where I was losing touch with myself and I wasn't focusing on bettering myself and I was end up losing in life at that time and it was a bad situation. And he told me, don't ignore the signs and save yourself a lot of trouble with just
Hmm.
getting out of there. Focus on you. And when I chose to focus on myself and my self development, I ended up on the other side of that door. And I was able to tell myself, like, damn, Glass, look at you. You got it. So you just got to
Hmm.
stay focused on the plan. Stay eyes on the
Yeah, no,
prize, baby. You ain't got you.
absolutely.
Hell yeah, man. Eyes on the prize. Do not lose yourself trying to make somebody else happy or trying to fit the needs of others.
Hmm.
Fuck that. Y'all got to fit each other's needs.
That part right there. That part
Yeah,
right there. We can take the second back end of this one as well.
got you,
You
got you.
said, why do some trans women want to demean us, knowing we're open to date you guys, but not willing to give us a chance? And I think something you mentioned earlier about being the first.
Everybody wants you to be there first. They don't want you to sit there and know everybody in the community or be community goods, as they say.
Hmm.
They don't want that because they don't want that stigma on them. Because if you have a reputation, a lot of people that I've observed when it comes to these situations, they're so keen on having a reputation. And
Hmm.
everybody, everybody got their rep, but they don't want their rep fucked up. And to each his own, but be open. That person could be the person that could be the love of your life. Don't fuck that up because you so worried about somebody else's opinion of you. Because at the end of the day, let's just be real. These people are people. Who gives a
Yep.
fuck?
Yep.
You gotta love you, live your life. Whatever makes you happy, you shouldn't worry about everybody else's opinion.
Absolutely. And I think that is something that is part of the work for the men in this journey of ours. Sorry, sinus infection.
No, you good, man.
um,
You okay?
yeah, yeah. That is part of the work for the men. That is part of the work. Not giving a fuck what other people think and standing on your business. You know.
Facts, man.
But I think a part of the journey that's overlooked for the girls a lot of times is that same thing because they're so if you care so much, well, he was with this other girl or he did this or I know he was with her, such and such. Okay, but he's not now.
That's just like
He's not
us.
now.
Let's
Like
let's be real. That's
you're so
just like
over
us.
concerned.
That's just like us though. Men will be
Hmm.
dating a chick. She could be loving us right. We be having a great time. Another dude coming there. Well, I fucked her, bro. She a hoe. Do, 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 do. Guess what I'm gonna say? She my hoe now. Respectfully, she's my girl.
Yeah.
So whatever y'all did in the past time, that's what y'all
Hmm.
did. Because right now, me and her rocking together, and I can give a fuck about what you did with her and how you felt about her. And if you feeling some way about me being where you're just mad because she chose not to keep to continue her toxic situation with you, and you couldn't
Absolutely.
get her the way you wanted to get her.
Yeah.
Stop worrying. Yeah, people, stop worrying about what other
It
people think
really
about.
shouldn't matter. This whole body count and what you did in your past really shouldn't matter either way, whether it's the man
Mm,
or the woman, because
fuck
it's
no.
really the same. I mean, the girl saying, "Well, I don't want no I don't want no man who's community property and this, and this." Okay, well, I mean, are you community property? Like, how many bodies have you racked up? Like, are you what you want? You're saying you want this, but you're not willing to be that. So now what? How did
Facts.
how do we move forward where one person is a normal flawed human being and the other person needs to be perfect? It's
And that
ridiculous.
ain't and no one's perfect. So don't hit
No.
that don't hit that bullshit talking about the guy's got to be absolutely perfect or he's got to be his body count has to be to a certain extent or a
Hmm.
certain number. Because at the end of the day, we're all fucking adults. Why should that matter? It
I
should matter.
mean,
And I'm being honest, that shouldn't matter. I don't give
in
a fuck
grown
what
up
my
dating, it shouldn't matter.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
at the end of the day, I can give a fuck about what my girl did before she met me. I
Hmm.
can give a fuck. I'm not even gonna be worried about it like that. That's the past, baby. We the
But
future. Mm-mm.
I've had it where girls I've dated, they're like, oh yeah, I know him. Oh yeah, I chatted with him. Oh yeah, I know him. Yeah, I talked to him for a little bit. So what? Like I mean, in our men's group alone, I mean, I have to be honest with you. I don't have all the bodies in the world, especially on this side of the tracks. And with the few bodies I do have, in our group alone, I think I got like 6 Eskimo brothers in that group, which I've recently heard is not the best term, but if you guys don't know what that is,
What the fuck is the
that
Eskimo brother?
that's a term used to define men who have all had sex with the same girl. So
Yo,
like,
these terms are getting these terms, yo, these terms are getting a tad bit
it's wild. It's
extreme, man.
wild.
What the fuck?
I
Eskimo
mean,
brother?
and look, with the hookup culture we're involved in right now, there needs to be something that defines that because it's a thing. It is a thing. We have all had
Yo.
sex with the same girl, and so what? I don't have any problem with the guys, and I don't. And in fact, I don't even look at the girl as like, oh, well, she's a hoe. She deserves the worst. Actually, she's a good person, and I hope she finds the person that'll make her happy forever. I wish her the best. Like
Facts.
I don't begrudge her. I don't demean. I don't look at her as less than because of that fact. And it's just like,
Facts.
well, and I mean, it happens. It's especially with our little men's group. For whatever
Yeah, yeah.
reason, women find themselves to different guys in our group when legit 98% of guys in the group have never even met. Most of us have
Mm,
never met each other in person. It's a very
facts.
small percentage of us that actually have met each other in person, let alone just know each other, like just
Facts.
a quick meeting in person. So it's just it speaks to how small the community really is. But hey, that's life. You got to trial and
Hell
error.
yeah.
So
And just being
if I meet a girl and she was like, "Yo, well, you were with 3 years ago," or let's even go a little bit further back. 6 years ago you were dating some girl that I know, so we can't date. That's an idiotic fucking statement. It's like, you know how fucking stupid you are. So
That's my
you're
sister.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's my sister. Fuck out of here. You don't even know when's your sister's birthday. You don't even know her. Shut up. Like,
And even if it
stop
is,
it.
guess what? Guess what? We didn't work out. Let's see how we gonna roll. Fuck her.
I
We
mean, for
rolling in a whole
real.
different direction.
You can't be like, well, I'm looking for somebody this, and this, and
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
okay, but here's somebody who could be the one for you. But well, you dated somebody I knew 6 years ago, and I've actually, I mean, it happens. And I hear guys coming like, hey, man, like, yeah, I'll be struggling. And, oh yeah, she went. Oh man, I really wanted to talk to her, but she just didn't want to go out on date with me or anything because I dated her. I dated one of her sisters, 7 years ago, and it's just like, so
You're not the
what?
same. You're not the same fucking person you were the next day, the
Oh,
next month, the next
that's
year.
true.
So what the fuck am
That's
I gonna
true.
be still keep? If I'm just being honest, if
Yeah.
somebody is holding something from six anytime after that, like years up.
Hmm.
What the fuck? That's something that you hold a grudge with, and that's something you need to talk to somebody about because you have not healed from those situations, or you so worried about somebody else's situation to the point where you're insecure and thinking they're the same person that they were for your sister, for your
Hmm.
home girl, that you think, or for somebody that you know, you're gonna think it's gonna be the same person. When really, they don't want you to be with it because they still have some feelings for that person, and they didn't go out, or they don't want you, they don't want you, but they don't want nobody else to have you. And they'll say whatever they can say about
Hmm.
you so the person who is somewhat interested in you don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah. Well, I
Right.
see the need to control men and how we move and whatever else, like that need for control, that need for to have a handle on how you move, who you've been with, all this other stuff. Like, I mean, really, it all stems from insecurity.
Facts.
No sane, secure person would really give that much of a fuck. If you're secure in yourself, shouldn't matter at all. Shouldn't
And
matter
it
at
takes
all.
time, and it takes time to get to that point. That's why you have to work on those situations and know
Hmm.
who you truly are before you go fucking around and tell somebody else what you want them to be. Fuck that. Be who you
Hmm.
want to be, and then the right person is gonna come along where it's not gonna be in that situation. If you see yourself being insecure to that fact, to that point where it's disturbing the peace of you both, you need to get the fuck on because it's
Absolutely.
not gonna work. Yeah, shit like that is not gonna work, bro.
No, it isn't, and it's just
And
another
this is speaking
chapter.
from experience, bro. This is speaking from experience. I'm not gonna talk this shit and not speak from experience. I was an insecure person. Being
Hmm.
honest, being honest. I was
Yeah.
an insecure person. I wanted to swing things the way I wanted to swing them to control it and end up destroying the whole situation because guess
Hmm.
what? I wasn't secure in myself. It takes
Yeah.
time to grow, it takes time and growth and to really look in the mirror and be like, damn, I need to work on it. And still working on it. Have to.
Yeah. I think that's the one of the things in life people don't really account for is like essentially the fact that you're always going to be learning. You will always be in ebb essentially. Like you're always going to be changing. So,
Facts. You
who you are is really fluid in terms of what you're learning, what you're working on, what you're getting better at, what you're aware of, all that. The growth is always going to be happening. It isn't like, well, shit, I'm grown now. I'm 40. That's it. Like
no.
no more growth. There's always going to be, something to learn. This life is a learning experience. It doesn't stop.
Facts. And if you're not improving, you're getting worse. And you gotta look, that's shit you gotta work on. Shit. And you
Yeah.
gotta take some self-accountability. A lot of time, us as adults, we want to blame everybody else for why we're this way. You gotta
Hmm.
take self-responsibility. And even if a person hurts you, you gotta be like, all right, shit, I allowed certain things. Now I'm not gonna allow certain things now. And I'm gonna look in the mirror and be like, when I see those signs and when I see situations that trigger me, or get me to a point of insecurity, move away from it. Get the fuck out of there. That's
Hmm.
what you gotta do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we got one more.
Got you.
Let's see here. Get to this. All right. So the last one, what aspects of being trans attracted do you wish were talked about more? Um, The last person says that it works like any other attraction. Just because a girl is trans doesn't mean I'm attracted to every trans woman.
Facts.
And that's fair.
Facts, man. And that comes with personal preference. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna fuck with every chick. If I was a single guy, I'm not gonna fuck with every chick that pops up that's on my timeline or on my, like in that I'm meeting with or
Hmm.
whoever I see. I'm not gonna fuck with every chick. And if you don't have a personal preference and you just jumping from girl to girl, that's when we go back to the chaser situation.
I mean, let's get to hmm, whatever. I'm just saying it in whatever way I can because it ain't gonna be nice.
Go
But
ahead,
a
bro.
lot of these girls are conditioned to lead with sex. So what I mean by that is, you can just be sitting there scrolling through Instagram and maybe you follow somebody or you accepted a new friend request on Facebook. And then here we go. Hey daddy, blah blah blah. Oh, I bet you and then they'll send you a nude. And you'll get like it's really, the girls send unsolicited dick pics. They send topless photos. They lead with like, I'm really gonna hook this guy if I just send them my nakedness because that sex sells. That's what these men want, which obviously isn't true with every
Not
single guy.
always. Hell
But
no.
it really, but then when it comes to, okay, well, look, I'm not interested, X, Y, and Z. Well, don't you like trans? I heard you like trans. I thought you were for the community. I thought you were with us and this, and this. And it's just like the handling the rejection isn't they're not the best at it all the time, guys. So I'm just saying, if you do say no thanks, if you are polite in every way, and really, I would encourage people to keep receipts. I'm just saying, but I encourage people
Yo,
to
what
do
you
that.
try? You try to catch? You try to catch the vibe. They say something dirty about you. Oh, no, from what I saw, March
Look,
2024, your ass was fucking doing something. You sent me a pic.
every really nasty situation, like every very angry situation that I've had, where somebody was like really just mad at me because I just wasn't interested. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to screenshot this and save it in a file somewhere, just in case this person comes out and says, "Well, he was doing this and he was saying this," because we live in a world where women are believed off top. This whole Me Too movement, believe women first, that shit actually sticks. And if we're talking about rep in this community, your rep in this community can be ruined by somebody with serious mental health issues. And nobody will give, and everybody will know that that person has mental health issues, but nobody will care. And
Let's
really,
see.
talking about the Malik Yoba situation.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it though. Let's talk about this. If you talking about rep and we talking about your reputation should be ruined, guess what? The same people talking trying to ruin your reputation, and the same people believing that shit, they still gonna fuck with you if they want to. If they want to be with you, or they want to try to see what they trying to see what type of see what
Hmm.
you on. They trying to
Hmm.
check your temperature. If they want to try it, they gonna try it. Fuck that
Yeah,
rep shit. Because at the end of the day, behind closed doors, they'll probably try to talk to you. And that's the honest to God truth.
really. Um, I don't care. I don't care who I expose on this. So, um, I'm not going to name names, but if you did the research, you can
Yeah,
find
you
out who
petty.
it is.
Yo, you petty.
Hey, this is real life here.
I love it. I'm here for
So I'm not going to name names, but if you did the research, you can find out. But there was a live stream, and I'll even name. Hope Giselle did a live stream where her and her friends sat around on the live stream and they talked crap about me and the guys on this show. They talked about our appearance, our bodies. They said our mothers should have aborted us. They said all the nastiest things they could say about us on that particular stream.
it.
Now, when one of those girls met one of my guys who was in New York, by the way, they were both in New York. When she ran into him in public, first of all her friends knew him and they was all cool with him. She's like, "Wait, what? Y'all actually cool with this dude?" And then that same night, she's trying to throw the cheeks at the man, a man who she said his mother should have aborted him inside of 2 months, trying to throw him some pussy. And that's the ridiculousness of it all. Like that's a pure example of what you said. They will People can talk all the crap in the world about you, but they may turn around and they still might be interested in you, no matter what. It's just like it's just real. It's real. I was dumb. I was actually worried for the guy. He was like, "Yo, man, I went out to this event and wherever the heck in New York, and such and such was there, and they brought such and such." I said, "Oh, dang! You ran up? You ran into her in person? Oh, dang! Who? Because I mean, look, a bunch of girls, and the guy by himself. Like, who knows what could pop off if people get upset enough? You know, people violent and people crazy out there. So I'm like, I was actually worried for his safety." But he was like, "Oh no, it was all good, all good." And he started telling me about what's happening. And then I'm like, "Oh, she was trying to throw you the cheeks. Wow. Okay."
And then you know the funny part too. You shout out to that platform as well. I'm not trying to throw any dirt on you. I
Mhm.
ain't got no problem with that. But the funny part, people in this community will talk so much shit about you, but when they see you in person, crickets won't say a motherfucking word. And excuse my
All of that.
language, but they won't say nothing. And will
Hmm.
sit there and look at you with the most smile. Hi, how you doing? Me? I just stay away from it all. I'm cool. I'm be
Oh,
like,
I
yo,
pop up.
I'll let
I
you
pop up when people. I pop up in
know.
places people don't expect me to pop up at. So, I went and I volunteered one year for the Brooklyn Ghost Project. I volunteered for their Transgiving.
Yeah,
Didn't nobody expect me to roll up in there. People who was talking shit about me online, they didn't expect to see me in person, actually volunteering and helping out at a community event. Like, they
and
didn't
then
expect
nine
that
times
jump.
out of and then 9 times out of 10, after they experience you for the first time or
Hmm.
experience your who you are, they end
Hmm.
up being cool with you. So all that
Really?
shit talking, yeah, all that shit talking and all these situations about somebody that you don't really know or you heard from somebody else don't
Hmm.
always go off that because you can end up liking this person and being cool with them. People got to stop
Absolutely.
talking so much crazy shit and thinking it's cool to do that. People talk so much shit and don't even know. You run into this person dead tomorrow, you're gonna end up liking your
Look,
opinion changes.
garbage in, garbage out. If all you take in is toxicity and drama and bullshit, and you live for all these dramatic videos online and these streams of people promoting drama and all this other junk, that's all. It's going to be your life. That's what you're putting out in the world. You're going to be a part of that crap. It's madness. But I really want to kind of wrap up this third point here
Oh yeah,
with
yes sir.
just because we are trans attracted does not mean we like every single trans woman. Women, if a guy says he's trans attracted, please do not expect him to like you, or like, please shoot your shot by all means. I'm not telling
Yeah,
you not to shoot your shot, but what I
yeah,
am
yeah,
telling you is
yeah,
don't get in your chest and get upset because he's not interested in you. And like, because I mean, it's really like some women walk in like they're entitled to that man's affections because he likes trans, like not entitled to anything. So, PSA, just because a guy likes trans women doesn't mean he likes every trans woman, or it doesn't mean that he only likes trans women. A lot of these guys they date cis women too. Some, now it's a very small group, but there have been a couple that are full pansexual, and they'll date cis men as well.
Mm. Or you're just not this his type. You got to go for that. He
There's
might
that
you
too.
might have a type because
Yeah.
shit. I'm gonna be honest. For my girl, I have a type. Fuck
Hmm.
that. Not just everybody.
you know, uh, I was talking with I was on Clubhouse one day, and it was just really it became apparent to me that like people need to understand that sometimes your type is toxic. Sometimes you need to avoid your type. Whatever does it for you gutturally may not always be the best for you.
And you know
Use your
but you
mind.
know, shit. But you know us men, boy, we go. If it ain't our type, some of us would be like, hell no, I'm not pushing that.
Look, all I know is I'm smart enough to understand what's good for me and what isn't good for me, whether I like
Yeah,
it or
you're
not.
right. Totally right.
So in my intellectual, I'm like, whoa, like I really like that over there, but I know that girl ain't nothing but trouble. I
And
know
be
she ain't
willing to
bringing
step
nothing
out
good
your
to the
comfort zone.
situation. Nah, I'm walking away from it. Like I just
Yeah.
know not good. I like what I'm seeing here, but you ain't got nothing good that's gonna enhance my life. I know it's gonna be problems.
And
It's
that's coming from
mm,
overall just growth in your experiences,
Yeah,
and growth overall, just knowing your overall experiences with other girls, and just like you said, checking the temperature,
yeah,
using your common sense, using your head, not using your big head, not thinking with your little head, knowing what's up.
absolutely. And that's something that men, part of the journey, men have to overcome that. You have to
Yeah,
get smarter and actually use your brain in terms of how you navigate your and how you choose a partner, how you choose who
facts,
you're going to dedicate and devote yourself to.
facts,
It's you got to be smart about that stuff because everybody's
right?
got pluses and minuses. Nobody's all pluses. Nobody's all minuses. It's kind of like a it's kind of like those old video games, those old little racing video games where they give you like five cars to choose from.
Yeah,
One of them is super fast, one of them is super slow and super durable. One's right in the middle, but they all those stats. None of them are
yeah.
all high enough. It's not. They're all have different. Or I guess it's
It's
kind of like a 2K player.
and it's all in what you're willing to handle, what you want to put up
Yes.
with.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Absolutely, man.
facts,
But yeah,
facts.
ladies, please observe that. Just because a man is says he is trans attracted, he's living in the truth, does not mean he wants every trans woman. So then also that means if that man who is openly trans attracted steps into the space, you don't need to feel uncomfortable because he doesn't want you. Like I'm not that he doesn't want you, but the assumption should not be he wants you and everybody else in the room. Because
Facts.
it's like, oh, these guys, they're chasers. They want everybody. They want all the things. And it's like, well, that's not a fair assumption, and that's not correct.
Facts. Because he could walk in that bitch and be like, I just want you. I've been looking for
Yep.
you.
Or
Hell
I
no.
want you, you, and you. But the other 10 of you, I don't want. Yeah, it may be more than one, but it ain't gonna be everybody. If there's 50
Yeah.
girls in the room and the guy said, you know what, actually 40 girls look really good. Okay, well that's not 50. So what?
Facts. Facts.
Like it's I don't know. It's the fallacy of the Disney myth that we a lot of us
The
have
Prince
believed.
Charming.
Yeah, like there's one person for you and that is it. They will be your everything and they will be all these things. It's like, yo, just because you're in I'm gonna just speak from my own experience. I don't want to drag you into this one,
Oh, go ahead.
but and in my relationship experience, just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean you don't recognize that other people are attractive. You see, fucking well, I know she's older now, but I'm old, so whatever. You see fucking Vanessa Williams, yeah, she's fine. But that don't mean you're gonna leave your girl for her.
Hell no.
Like your girl knows that Shamar Moore is a good looking dude. He's a handsome guy. But your girl ain't gonna leave you for him. Like
Shit, man.
that's that insecurity stuff coming in where it's like
Yeah.
you're worried that your girl is going or your guy is going they're going to leave you for don't do that. Have faith in what you built. Have faith in the work you put into
Mm,
it.
facts.
So, I don't be tripping off that junk.
Yeah,
I
man.
ain't gonna lie, I do like to joke about it though. So, I'll be like, hey, there go your man. There go your man. Look at him. There go your man.
Yo, you petty. Yo, you petty. I love it though. I love it. I love it, man. I'll be the dude in the cut, be like this.
Oh, please.
I'll be
Oh yeah.
laughing. I'll probably be sitting next to
Stupid.
you just like,
Hey,
I'll look at you like, oh no, just be laughing, man.
look, I ain't got no problem with other men liking my woman. I'm give me a free drink. Go
Oh,
hustle up a drink, fam.
boy, don't
I'll take
start
the free
that,
drink.
boy.
Hey, give us a
Boy, don't.
discount. We gonna get a discount at the Cheesecake Factory. Bet. Cool. Oh,
Shit,
30% off.
you talking about buying drinks? I don't drink much, but if you sitting there courting my woman and she you don't even know I'm her man in the midst of it, her ass gonna come back with a drink. Me, I'm gonna tip your ass just like that. Hey, thank you. Keep it
Exactly.
pushing.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
sitting right back in our section, and all right, cool. Now, I mean, I'm not saying somebody just run up in my face and disrespect me when I'm standing right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And, now you asking for us to throw hands, but that you're off on the dance floor, whatever. Like it's just every little thing can't bug you in life. That's all I'm
Hell
saying.
no.
Like
And that comes
that
with growth
insecurity
and
is just going,
experience. Yes,
yeah,
bro. That comes with the growth and experience. A lot of men are not like that. I've had an experience where me and my girl, we were at the revolt. We were at the revolt thing in Atlanta.
hmm
So we chilling. Guy walks up to my girl. He's a social media personality, and he was like, "Hey, I want to do a video with your girl. Is okay?" And she looked back at me like I'm finna say, I was like, "No, go ahead." They said, "Really?" Everybody's been getting mad about these situations. I'm like, no, bro, it ain't that deep for me.
It's just a video. It's
Hell
an
no.
internet
And then
video.
yeah, and fuck that. I got that sauce. She gonna come right back anyway. It's just a bit. Fuck
See, there you
that.
go. There you go. There you go. I mean, that's what it is.
Facts, bro.
Man, so we done legit turn this whole small segment into like pretty much the whole entire meat of the show. So well, anyways, I hope everybody listening to this enjoyed our conversation. I sure did. And Glass, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for giving me your time tonight, brother. And we're definitely gonna do this again at some point. We'll have you back because this was a fun conversation.
Thank you, man. I had a wonderful time. Can I close it out with something?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Do your thing.
Ladies, gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you like this, guys. This is coming from a place of love. Know yourself, respect yourself, put yourself on a pedestal. And if somebody can't meet your requirements, guess what? Somebody else will. Don't always think that last person that you talk to is the end all be all, because guess what? It's not. With growth and experience and living your life and truly knowing who you are, you'll understand that you are your only priority. Understand that.
And that's one hell of a word to go out on. So we're gonna kick it back to the main show where we're gonna close out with some announcements and other stuff. And we'll see y'all later. Thanks, Glass. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty canceled right now. But that was a hilarious and dope conversation. Y'all know how I do. I like to keep it real. I like to keep it raw and just say that shit. If I feel like it need to be said, I'm gonna just say it. It is what it is. So with that, we are going to wrap up this show. But thank you so much. We had a massive crowd online today between YouTube and Facebook. The comments was rolling, and I appreciate y'all for sticking with us through the show. Um, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. On YouTube, hit that little bell next to the subscribe so you get a notification every time we go live. Because obviously we're not 100% regular every single weekend. You can do the same thing on Facebook to get a notification every time we go live. Really, that's what we're going to be doing for the show. I'm just going to be doing some interviews with different guys, just having conversation. So it should be a pretty fun year. I got some really dope guys in the men's only group to talk with. Glass was just one of many. And for the guys watching this, if you do want to join the men's group, by all means, you can find us on Facebook. It is called the Men Like Us Tribe. It's a men's only space, a safe space. You can go in there, get some stuff off your chest, have some conversation, find other guys that are in your city that you can hang out with, talk to in person, grab a drink with, whatever. That's all available to you guys. That's there. It is for us. But ladies, thank you so much for the great conversation in the comments section. It was pretty wild. But yeah, that's really it. We're gonna catch y'all next time on the Men Like Us podcast. And if you're listening on audio platforms, please don't forget to subscribe to the platform, follow it, and give us a 5-star rating. 5 stars. The more 5-star ratings we get, the easier it'll be for other people to find the podcast. So help me out. All right, and I guess with that, we out. See y'all next time.